want to talk a little bit about, as I move into the kitchen here, I want to talk a little bit about hypocrisy. So today I was scrolling through the channels on YouTube here, and it's not that I was shocked by the fact that Star Wars Explained is all excited about the Acolyte. It's about par for the course because Molly is a woke, crazy psychopath, and she would actually be excited for something like this. The thing that bothers me, and it's bothered me for years about women like this, is that if, I gotta get a soda too, if they have something they're worried about, like let's say abortion rights, etc., they would support Satan. Okay, wouldn't care that he was Satan. They would support Satan. And the hypocrisy goes like this. Hey, Planet Musk, what's up? Hypocrisy goes like this. Bill Clinton coerces a young intern into whatever kind of sex they were doing. Joe Biden showers with his daughter. His son Hunter messes around with his niece, Amalia Obama. We have other instances of predatory males, but they're Democrats, okay? And here's the thing that bothers me. And get ready, because I talked about this before, but it's kind of hard not to talk about it since Leslie Headland has got this show coming up. When, and I'm talking about my own brother-in-law, Pat, too. When a guy is a predator, but he spouts all the feminist bullshit, these motherfuckers will defend that son of a bitch, no matter what he's done, to the end of the earth. But when it's Donald Trump, they would believe someone who is as deluded as E. Jean Carroll, you know? And it's like, I find that hypocritical. Okay, I find it hypocritical. So you've got, whatchamacallit, Leslie Headland working for Harvey Weinstein for 6 years. And suddenly, she quits. He helps her with her career. She gets some shows that have been, well received on Netflix. Not once did Sister in the Sisterhood, the Moa-faced, Fred Flintstone countenance, slimeball that she is, ever tell him, you can't do this to these women anymore, Harvey. I'm going to the police. Because her career, and because she loved him until it wasn't cool for her to love him anymore. Okay. Molly Damon, Star Wars Explained, and the rest of these fucking bitches are excited about the Acolyte. Have you ever seen any of them call her out for that? No. This is why I am not a feminist. Because they have absolutely no idea at all, how they look. Bill Clinton, predator. I mean, I can safely say I know Juanita Broderick. Okay. I know Kathleen Willey. I know a few of those people. Okay. Facebook friends and stuff. But still, you know, that's a way to have a kind of a face-to-face conversation with them. He gets away with it. He was forgiven. In fact, this is my, you guys are gonna laugh. This is my favorite thing. And this is where it was like 1998 and I wasn't quite sure how to articulate what the fuck with Clinton. My sister Rose, who recently passed, God bless her soul, was going through a divorce and I was hanging out in Boston and working and helping her because she had the kids. And she goes to me when the Monica Lewinsky thing is, do you think it's true? And I said, yes. Rose asked for her $2,000 back that she gave that motherfucker for his campaign. My sister Mary, the oldest one, and my sister Chris, her acolyte, were that summer I went home to visit, bragging on the dock about how they wanted to get their presidential knee pads. Why? Because the motherfucker made sure that murdering babies in the womb was still a good thing. Needless to say, the older one got a legal abortion. So my sympathy for the behavior that led to that is none. And I'm looking at them, trying to figure out why I was so horrified. And I couldn't quite articulate it because I hadn't really found my voice. I don't think a woman finds her voice until she hits 30. Okay. And then she's got to refine it. Okay. I was still worried about what people thought, etc., etc. The greatest thing a woman can do is not give a flying fuck what anybody thinks. Okay. The greatest thing a man can do is not give a flying fuck about what anybody thinks. Okay. And it dawned on me that these women who I know in my family act like they hate men and attack masculine men, the guys they're married to. I mean, my brother-in-law, Pat, is basically the disgusting, corrupt version of, small-town version of Bill Clinton. I don't think there was a blonde in La Crosse that he didn't try to fuck. Okay. And Chris is happily still with him. And she knew about it. I knew about it. Everybody knew about it. But it was like, you know, I could, you know, he could be Me Too'd, okay, into oblivion. All right. 17 years old, you're at the Christmas buffet, and your brother-in-law grabs you in the ass. And he's in his mid-30s or whatever. It's like, get your fucking hand off. And I told him that. My dad is sitting there going, what the fuck? And my brother John's like, the last two guys that should witness that, because an ass kicking is about to happen. Okay. Did the same thing to my niece Angela. Hey, Mike, how you doing? And, you know, he's, you know, Mr. County Commissioner, whatever. All right. Got away with it. Always gets away with everything. Disgusting. And it bothers me. What bothers me is thanks, Cross. What bothers me is these women are treated like shit by these little manlets they're with, you know, and yet they tolerate it and they enjoy it and they like being the victim. But if you take, I don't know, a character in a movie, Han Solo, he's horrible because he's masculine and he's smug and, you know, like that. It's like, and then they make shit up. I mean, if I had taken the screenshots of women trying to defend that position to me in private chats, I would have a book this big. It was all from the same women too, not, you know, it's not like every woman on the planet thinks that way. And most of these women, I'm going to include Star Wars Explained, were not fans till they saw The Force Awakens. So instead of going, that really sucked, why would they, what a horrible, this de-evolution of the character, that's not how, look, I'll preface it to you. Are you the same person you were 10 years ago? No. No. I'm not. I'm definitely not the same woman I was 20 years ago. I'm definitely not the same person I was 3 years ago. Okay? So when you have people, and it's usually the left now. When I was a kid, the left defended everybody from rapists to murderers, saying they've been in prison long enough, they're changed, their reforms. And it's like, no. But now it's people that are, I'm going to say moderate, libertarian, real liberals, looking at anything from movies to novels, trying to figure out why it's so good. The character started here, ended here. Just because a story ended doesn't mean that character arc is not evolving in wisdom into adulthood with all of the things that go with it, you know? And it's like, I don't understand why people who run around, they voted for Biden, they protested the war in Iraq, now they're like, we have to go defend Ukraine. No, oh my God, no. Okay. Act like once a person's the way they are, they never change. They never grow. Now, if you look at the character arc, Han, Leia, Luke, Han shows up, he needs money, he's, comes off as greedy, but it's more like, I have bills to pay, I have debts to pay, and he wants to get paid, he wants to get the hell out of there. Of course he's self-interested. Think about the world he lives in. All right, think about what he does for a living and what he's surrounded by. Is it by choice? Well, had he not saved Chewbacca, he'd probably be an Imperial pilot. He might even be leading an Imperial fighter wing, okay? And if you know anything about pilots, they're arrogant. A lot of them are arrogant fucks because they're really good at what they do, and there are not a lot of them that can do that, okay? It's like hanging out with a jockey. How many of you weigh 90 pounds, balance on the balls of your feet, in a saddle that's this big, postage stamp, on an animal that weighs 1,200 pounds and can run 40 miles an hour? None. That is a very small group of individuals that are really specialized and really fucking good at their jobs. Okay. And Solo is he's a loner. I mean, think about the name. George didn't pull that name off a tree. It meant something about the character. Okay. The name means something. All right. And guys like that, who are loners, who are very, very seemingly superficial in many ways, have had a lot of crap happen to him that was not good. You know, where's Han's family? Where are his parents? Did he have parents? Did he know them? Why is the only thing he trusts in the whole galaxy a Wookiee? All right. These are questions that these fucking bitches don't ask. The Molly Damons of the world. Okay. So you get him in A New Hope. And he stays with the rebellion, I guess, for 3 years. Why? New Hope, Leia shows up. And the first thing she does is send them all down a garbage chute. So he's complaining about it. They're having an argument. That's, I mean, the way they meet is kind of comical, right? And it's a calamity, and yet they get away. All right. So why doesn't he leave to go pay off Jabba? The princess, more so than Luke. Okay. What does this say about Han? At the end of A New Hope, we realize that he's not who he appears to be. All right. He likes to pretend he's that way. But, yep, James is right. He's like to pretend he's that way. But his conscience with Chewbacca going after him basically forced him to make a decision. Now he's with the rebellion. Now, there's a book out there called, I think it's called Scoundrels. It's about Han, after he leaves the rebellion, hooks up with Lando. They try this caper and it doesn't work. Just a minute. And I don't know why my nose does that, but it does. And at the end of it, Han runs into Winter, who was Leia's best friend from Alderaan. Winter is the exact opposite of Leia in physicality. She's tall, she's got almost white platinum hair. All right, hence her name Winter. And she basically says the princess will take you in if you go back. If you go back to the rebellion. They need pilots, so he does. But he doesn't leave for 3 years. Why? The princess. All right? You know, and that's it. Leia's whole, I mean, she's already a hero when you meet her. All right? She doesn't need that hero's journey character arc like Luke got, like Han got. She's already a hero. She's the courier for the Death Star plans. And she resists Vader's attempts at getting where the rebellion's headquarters is, which shows that she's fucking hard ass. All right. And her journey is less about this outward epic thing and more of a personal thing. Okay. She's still a girl. And then by Return of the Jedi, she's not anymore. She's a young woman. She's an adult. And that is a journey. It's a very female journey, by the way. And I think it's every bit as heroic as anything else. And it's a hell of a lot more interesting than Rey, the bestest ever, could ever be. And I'm going to talk a little bit about something I saw later in this, if I remember, about that. So it's her journey is personal. It's tied with Han's. All right. And then we got Luke. And again, these women trash Luke completely. Trash. We may have a barking dog on our hands because he just a shepherd. Woof. Anyway, it was a true hero's journey. And it was a personal journey. Their character arcs are personal because that's what it is. But outward heroism is different for a man and a woman. I challenge anybody like Molly Damon to try to explain the fact that a woman's hero's journey can be the same. It's not, because women aren't men. Okay, they're not. And being equal to a man doesn't mean you're the same. Okay, you bring your differences complement each other. All right, that's fine. Women can fight. I mean, look at Leia, look at Padme, look at Ventress, look at Ahsoka, but still different. Still different. And that's the important factor. Luke, he goes from never having left Tatooine to finding himself on the Millennium Falcon and then being dragged onto the Death Star, and suddenly he has to do something heroic, and that's help rescue. Let's get the princess out of her cell block. And obviously, when you watch it, you realize Vader left or let them escape. He put a tracking device on the Falcon, let them escape, so they could follow it through. Which is interesting to me that Rian Johnson thought having a hyperspace tracker on Snoke's ship was somehow new, and it's like Vader already had one, and it wasn't new. Did you watch A New Hope or not, you dumb round-headed fuckhead? Anyway, they get to Yavin 4. We know the story. Luke has Anakin's lightsaber, the Skywalker lightsaber, on him, and he's realizing that there's a whole world that's opened up to him. All right, it's not just fighting for the rebellion. It's the possibility of being able to become a Jedi, which is something he never considered because he really didn't know what the Jedi were, which I always thought was kind of interesting, that it was an interesting take George had, because it's really only like, 19 years between the fall of the Republic and Order 66 and the rebellion. All right, Yavin 4. So Luke, on his first thing, second thing he does heroically is use the Force to blow up the Death Star. All right, and then we get into The Empire Strikes Back. Neither male character arc nor Leia's character arc is respected by any of these fucking people. All right. It was good today, by the way, Mike. None of these people respect it because it doesn't fit what they think it should be. They literally have this need to be validated, their politics validated, their fucked up lifestyles validated. And so instead of yelling and screaming at Bill Clinton for being a pig, they yell and scream at a character in a movie because their headcanon says that he was somehow a bad person. Or they actually really don't understand how people can go, Luke would never do that. When, Kyle Ron's the victim. Leia's not a victim. Han's not a victim, even though he got lightsaber shoved in his chest just for being there in the same place. And Luke isn't a victim, even though he's portrayed kind of as a monster. Luke is a guy who saved Anakin Skywalker. Okay. Remember that. In fact, I just saw a video where I think in Return of the Jedi novel, when Vader picks up the Emperor to throw him into the reactor core, the Emperor's screaming, Lord Vader, put me down, put me down. And basically he says, you're talking to Anakin Skywalker. And he just throws him down in the reactor core. All right. I really think that should have been part of the movie. Because, again, like I've always said, the Jedi that return in Return of the Jedi is Anakin, not Luke. Okay. It's Anakin. Okay, so it's very sad to me that people could think that Luke, who did that, who basically was there confronting Vader with who he really is, would turn around and try to kill his sister's son, the son of his best friend. And somehow, and again, the bad guys misunderstood, and he was a victim of the good guys. Because that's how these amoral bitches and the manlets they're with. Manlet is a new term I made up. It's worse than a beta male. Think. I mean, if you look at the craziness going on with trans shit. Jeffrey Marsh, y'all know who he is. He's got a Patreon. He's got I think he used to have a YouTube channel. I think he's got a I think he got rid of his Instagram account and he went private on him. Oh yes, he is Cross. And he went private on his X account because if you ever see the guy, I'll get a picture of him just so you know just so you can see. If you ever see him, you will understand truly what demonically possessed is. And this guy wants to separate kids from their families. He wants to be the family for those kids. So they pay $1 or $2 a month to go on their to get a subscription to his Patreon. And he is a groomer, okay? This asswipe is a groomer, so let's see. No, not that one. Here. That's him. That's him. Okay. He's a victim. All right. To the people like the Star Wars Explained crowd and the crowd that doesn't call out Leslie Headland for enabling Harvey. The kids' families aren't victims. I mean, this motherfucker is telling children not to have any contact with their families. And you wonder why I call it demonic. That's, if you read anything about how that shit works, that's exactly what that is. Okay? So, I kind of go, all these people who victimize children, victimize women, are victims, right? Until they're not, and until they're inconvenient, like Jeffrey Epstein. Until they're inconvenient, like Harvey. Okay, again, so I'm gonna ask you, why didn't Leslie Headland go to the police when she knew exactly what he was doing? I know why, you know why too. Her career, and she didn't give a fuck. Okay, that is the ultimate in leftist, feminist, female shit. Kathleen Kennedy knew. They all knew. And we're supposed to go, You're so brave and stunning to these bitches. I have been in situations where the guy I was working for did something to me or tried to. And I got up and I said, "You will pay me what you owe me for one day of work. And you will apologize and I'm leaving." And he did. Why? Because I called the motherfucker out. I'd rather not have a job than work for somebody like that. Okay, really. And, you know, you'll look at, Congressman Mark Foley back in 2006, Republican congressman from Florida, gets called out for basically hitting on the congressional pages, the boys. You look around and you go, why didn't you guys do something about this? Why? The majority was everything, and they couldn't. Isn't that bullshit? Hey, Carlos, what's up? So I look at Leslie and go, you're a hypocrite, and I'm going to bring up Harvey Weinstein all the time. I'm going to bring him up to Star Wars Holocron, Suggs, Star Wars Explained, every one of these people. And they will play the card. They have to. And it's like, we're supposed to not notice the lies that are being spun by these people. We're supposed to not notice that. We're supposed to sit there and go, oh, the Acolyte's going to be so stunning and brave. Really? You want to know what stunning and brave is? Leslie marching into Harvey's office saying, if you don't stop this behavior, I'm going to the police. And if you said, you'll never work in this town again, I'd say, fine, I'll be a barista. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to stand by you and let you do this. But she didn't, because she has no integrity. Now, again, my friend Conrad would say there isn't a lot of integrity in Hollywood, and I would agree with that. But maybe it's time these people had some. Maybe it's time that somebody somebody at Lucasfilm, Carrie Beck, Pablo's wife, Kristen, that chick that used to do the Star Wars channel, not the Latina, but the red-haired one, would say, hey, I think it's wrong that this woman is working with Lucasfilm when she's never really answered for her role in Harvey Weinstein's little circus freak show. Because she didn't. She got a career out of it. She got him writing letters for her and recommendations. And that was at the time where everyone's like, with him. And then when it became uncool, she threw him under the bus. And she never, ever, ever had to apologize or explain herself to the public. And when you brought it up, she left social media. All right. It makes me sick that Kennedy, Maris Crane of Star Wars, let her get away with it. Okay, it makes me sick that these women who can do fan panels at Star Wars Celebration and shove the worst character ever in Star Wars, Rey, in our faces, don't call her out. You're all supposed to be big feminists, yet you don't call this bitch out. And she enabled Harvey Weinstein to do all kinds of horrible things to girls, those girls. And you were there, and you would let it happen. That makes me sick, because I couldn't do it. Yeah, well, I mean, go to the Star Wars Explained channel and look at all the stuff they have about the Acolyte. And Molly's jumping up and down like freaking kangaroo on acid. You know, brain damage test monkey. Well, you know, I always said she probably got Harvey's sloppy seconds. You know, I mean, the woman has, I mean, dares to run around and wrap herself up in some sort of cloak of victimhood at Star Wars Celebration and parade her fat ass out there when you just look at her and go, you want to explain to me what the hell was going on with Harvey and why the hell you never did anything about it? These are the questions that we should ask. There's a reason why, you know, we got this going on. 78% dislikes. Why? Because Leslie Headland and no one wants it. And everybody knows it's just going to be more hypocritical shit by these feminazi, LGBTQ, bigoted assholes, which is exactly what they are. Exactly. Okay. You know, what they did to Han, what they talk about when they talk about Han, when they talk about Luke, and they talk about Leia. Hey, Maze, how you doing? Yeah, and Maze is right. You know, they totally throw everything great about Star Wars under the bus because they need what? Their validation. They need to be right. They need their presidential knee pads. You know, I mean, look. You know, Bill Clinton had lefty bitches. I mean, Eleanor Mondale, for fuck's sake, lining up outside of his office to blow him. Okay, that's what these women are like. They don't give a shit if the guy victimized other women. They can sit there and scream, "Me too," to the world, and they never stood up and said, when they knew what was going on, when it was uncool to say it, Harvey is a predator, stay away from him. And they never put it out there. And the little manlets, like Jacob Suggs, like the manlet that's part of Star Wars Explained, they do the same fucking thing. It's called virtue signaling. And yeah, and Maestros is right. Yeah, Jacob sucks, you know. Well, that's the problem with all of them. Okay, that is literally the problem with all of them. Is that Star Wars was great, and then when it wasn't, they didn't call it out. I mean, look, you know, I don't look at being a female as making me more special than a man. All right, makes me different. Men and women are different. Molly, get the fuck over it. Okay. But the hypocrisy that she has shown at the expense of other women over Leslie Headland is absolutely outrageous. And she's not the only one. They all do it. Gail Simone, you know, all of them do it. And it's like, you're all a bunch of fucking hypocrites. All right. Which is why the Acolyte's gonna fail. I mean, look, don't be surprised. I mean, they're not going to. But if you wake up in the morning and read an article saying they're pulling the Acolyte off of Disney Plus before it ever showed up, again, 78%. And the comments are hilarious. And a good portion of the comments are Harvey Weinstein centered. I mean, it's true. So I want to talk about something else. So today's Star Wars theory, and I do respect him, but I did accuse him of clickbait with this. Or was it yesterday? I can't remember. Posted a video where somebody made up a rumor that Omega is actually Rey's mother. First off, doesn't that go against canon? All right, because her father was supposed to be one of Palpatine's clones, right? So we got that. And I'm like, I could only like watch a minute of it. And I was so like, whoever made this shit up? Well, they look alike. So get a picture of the cartoon character Omega and put right next to each other. And we're all supposed to pretend like they look alike. No, I think not. It's stupid. And I wanted to address it because it's literally the dumbest fucking thing. And look, made up probably by someone who hates the sequel trilogy and who really, really needs the sequel trilogy to remain canon to feel relevant. I don't know, clickbait, so they can continue to make money off their YouTube grift. I think that's probably it. And, I wouldn't doubt that it's somebody made it up as dude that wears a mask and, wouldn't doubt it at all. All right, and has a modified voice. But hey, what do I know? All I know is that that's got to be the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. And anybody, even entertaining that could be something like that, should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, fuck are you talking about? Why would John and Dave do that? Why would... What fucking progress is that for Star Wars? You think about it. Anyway, I gotta go out and see Miss K, and she should be out in the field today, I think. And I'll have to bring her in because I gotta clean her. It's not quite warm enough for bathing yet, and so I tried to get the dust off her the other day, and it was like, I touched her, it was like, poof, this cloud. I'm like, so, and the horses get dusty in the wintertime, because that's, you can't give them baths. And she usually gets, throughout the mid-spring through the fall till it gets cold, a bath like every other week. I wash her off, and if she's been working and she's sweaty, you take the tack off and you spray her down with the hose, the chest, and in between her legs, because that's where they retain a lot of heat, the back legs and the belly, and actually just cover her completely with water. And you take the scraper and scrape it down off so she's not dripping, and that cools them off. Okay, and it keeps them clean. But the dust is horrible. Anyway, I just wanted to do this as a rant. For some reason, YouTube is fucking with me. I was gonna do a video on this, and I have to redo the whole thing so I can actually post the video. Okay, so hey, you guys have a good afternoon, and we did get a Sparrow update. Let me give it to you if you haven't seen it. We're getting an animated, probably an anime Star Wars show based on, I think, the first season of Star Wars Visions. And we're gonna get an Order Jedi post Order 66, Jedi on the Run, Quinlan Voss, probably Asajj, and a bunch of others. Okay, this is something that would be fun. And what Favreau is doing right now is he's creating a foundation to rebuild the franchise, to respect what George did. Okay. Oh, and another one. I did a video yesterday about George. He's being awarded an honorary Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival for his outstanding genius work in film. And it's going to be on, and I don't know what this means, but it's obvious, May 25th, the anniversary date of the release of A New Hope in all of George's Star Wars movies that he made. And I'm actually wondering if it isn't part of the George Lucas, I will endorse you, Bob, but you need to do this, 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 and this. I don't know. It's to me, it's like, and if someone can find Kathy, have her stick her head up to say hi. Because despite what the black pills and the cease and desist bros are saying, Kathleen Kennedy is nowhere to be found. This is Steph, signing out. I'll see you guys around the